cut across live now to negotiations which are underway as far as Brexit is concerned. Let's try and listen in to the details.
Assumer les conséquences des décisions prises par les citoyens britanniques et en veillant à l'intégrité du marché intérieur et à l'intégrité non négociable de l'autonomie de décision des 27 pour leur propre destin. Voilà. Et encore une fois, comme l'a dit David et comme je l'ai dit moi-même, je trouve positif que le discours de Theresa May ait permis de débloquer la situation et de donner une nouvelle
situation to some extent and give a new dynamic to the situation, but we're far from being at a stage, and it will take weeks or maybe even months, where we'll be able to say, yes, okay, there's been sufficient progress on the principles of this orderly withdrawal.
Okay. Bruno.
Bruno Waterfield, Times of London. First, for Mr. Davis, the arrangements for European nationals living in Britain, direct effect of the withdrawal treaty, won't be able to be amended by Parliament. That European law concepts will continue to apply and be visible through that in the UK. Of course, it sounds awfully like the European Communities Act. 1972. Can you explain to us why it won't be? We see the figures for liabilities in the 2016 budget, an all-time high, 238.8 billion. Can you tell us which part of those commitments Britain will honour? Britain said it would honour those commitments, and which part it won't. Mr Barnier, on October the 9th, we're hearing that Britain will make new concrete proposals on these areas to you. If they go some way to addressing your concerns, would you ask the European Council on the 19th of October to adjust your mandate in order to be able to get deep into the nitty-gritty of a transition arrangement?
Thank you, Bruno. It doesn't look anything like the 1972 Act to me. Let's say what it is. We have been discussing this, you might imagine this is central, this issue of the rights of European Union citizens in the UK. And we accept, and have done from the start, that there is a need for certainty for them. And that's what we are aiming to produce, without allowing the European Court of Justice to make rulings within and on cases in the UK. And this is the compromise we are working towards. It's not unusual. There are plenty of arrangements where we have treaties that confine what the United Kingdom do, very specific, with very real aims. And that's what we're doing here. As for the money, we're not doing the negotiation standing here. No.
I answered earlier on about sufficient progress. I mean, we could go into the details, but if you read the papers and the position papers that have been made public with full transparency by the Commission and by my team, I think you can see. I mean, you can see what we expect. It's all about sustainable protection of citizens' rights in time, coherent interpretation of those rights on both sides, and the financial settlement. We're asking for the fact that the commitments entered into by 28 be honoured by 28, no more nor less. And on Ireland, we're making progress. I mean, as soon as possible, as soon as... And I take my responsibilities as a negotiator seriously. As soon as I can say that we're there, in that first sequence, underpinning the orderly withdrawal, then as soon as possible, I shall recommend to the European Council that we start the second stage in the sequence, which would then be addressing